Earlier this season, I talked about a king trying to take their throne back, how LeBron James would return to dominance, and everybody else would be taking notes. And well, for most of the season, that's been exactly the case. LeBron has been looking like his old self, and while the Lakers, they've been phenomenal. They sit on top of the Western Conference with one of the best records in the entire NBA. To be short, they look great, but great might not be good enough. You see, in this league, there's always somebody trying to outpace you. Let's face it, LeBron had a great run of being the undisputed best player in the league. If the NBA didn't get tired of giving LeBron MVPs, who knows exactly how many he'd have. LeBron in Cleveland was one of the greatest tickets in the entire NBA. So was LeBron in Miami. We saw dominance on levels that I wasn't sure that I'd ever see again. While others have been trying to take notes on LeBron's dominance, others are trying to take the throne. And that's exactly how it should be. Out in Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo has been everything you could want in a franchise player and more. Giannis came into the NBA as a lanky 6'9" small forward with a 7'3" wingspan and potential out of this world. But you can't make it on just potential alone, at least not as one of the best players in the entire NBA. You see, at some point, potential needs to meet action, and action needs to meet production. And while let's just say Giannis this season has been producing at an absurd rate, and if you tried to get the story just by looking at numbers, you wouldn't exactly get the half of it. Time and time again, we've seen players have all of the potential and none of the production. Giannis would be different, but he didn't have to be. NBADraft.net compared Giannis to Nicholas Batum, and no knock to NBADraft.net or Nicholas Batum, he just isn't Giannis. But, of course, there was no way they could have known that Giannis would develop into the powerhouse that he's become today. Batum was a fun player in Portland, and at one point I thought he might develop into a star. He seemed like the perfect prototypical 3-and-D small forward. Those Portland teams were fun, but look, let's just say I was really high on Nicholas Batum. While comparing Giannis to Nicholas Batum, NBADraft.net also said that Giannis would be able to change directions off the dribble with the ball in his hands with incredible smoothness and quickness, getting to the rim while maintaining excellent balance. His athleticism and wingspan make him able to cover 4 positions on the floor, showing great versatility. He has a natural feel for the game and a good IQ, and good passing skills and instincts, and the potential to become a point forward at the next level, thanks to his big hands and his creativity. He's an amazing ball handler for his position. He's unstoppable with momentum, especially during secondary transition, where he can exploit his amazing mobility. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Amazing scouting report by NBADraft.net that tells us Giannis had all the tools to be great, and he'd already started putting them in motion. I remember the night Giannis was drafted. I won't sit here and tell you that I knew everything about him. As a matter of fact, I knew the opposite. But the first night I saw his highlights, I knew he had the potential to be special. This video, we're going to be talking about how Giannis Antetokounmpo is dominating the NBA and possibly becoming the best player in the entire league, while leading the Milwaukee Bucks to a historic season. But before we go any further, guys, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You will not want to miss another GETLIKECOOP video, and that's facts. We're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers, guys, so I can go full time and bring you guys daily content. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I have a lot of content that I really want to drop soon. One of the videos that I've been thinking of that I'm not sure you guys want to see is comparing LeBron to Giannis at the same age. I want to know if you guys want to see that video or if it's going to be too controversial for you guys. I don't always have the most conventional opinion, but I think that makes for better videos at times, giving you a look that deviates from what you might normally see. And the Ja Morant video is coming soon. This guy is so good, it's absolutely ridiculous. Coming this weekend. But with that being said, be sure to follow my Instagram, handle GETLIKECOOP. You will not want to miss another post. Thursday, December 19th, we saw what could be one of the most iconic moments in NBA history. We saw Giannis claiming the crown from LeBron James. I feel like this put the NBA on notice in many different ways. Everybody knows that Giannis is one of the best players in the entire league. Him winning the MVP last season was no fluke. You could argue it was a bit controversial, but he deserved the win. Just James Harden did too. Harden is a monster who had a great season, but so is Giannis, and the way the award works, there can only be one winner. The scary thing is though, that since winning that MVP, Giannis has only gotten better. A lot of people said that if Giannis could shoot, he would become the best player in NBA history. So what now? Giannis is set to shatter his career high for 3-pointers made in a season. He started the season 4 of 23, but since then, he's been 45 of 122, which would put him around league average. Giannis with the league average jump shot is scary to think about, but it actually gets even better. In December, Giannis is shooting threes at almost 45%. This will put Giannis among the league's elite. Of course, though, this isn't the first time that Giannis has been hot from the 3-point line, but he's never been hot like this. He's taking threes from deep and with confidence. And I'm talking about like Steph Curry range deep. And for whatever reason, even if you don't think that his shooting is sustainable, you have to smile at the fact that he's taking 5 threes a game and he's hitting them at a respectable rate. Giannis hitting this shot takes the Bucks offense to new heights. The Bucks offense has seen improvement for a few years now. Improvement that takes the Bucks offense to the very top of the league. Since Coach Mike took over for the Milwaukee Bucks, they've been taking three-pointers at league high rates. What the Bucks taking threes at such high rates does for a slasher like Giannis is it allows him to play to his strengths. It spaces the floor so he can properly attack the basket and possibly find the open shooter. You see, when teams guard a player like Giannis, they rarely guard him one-on-one. As a matter of fact, teams will go all out with team defense to try to stop Giannis. Giannis scores in the paint with such high efficiency, you see why teams try to do this. I don't think there's truly one player in the league that is able to stop Giannis one-on-one, but I'm interested in knowing if you guys believe there is down in the comments below. I know there are some players of honorable mention who may be able to give Giannis a tough time, but to completely stop somebody in today's NBA is a really tough task, especially a player of Giannis's caliber. At 25 years of age, Giannis has already drawn comparisons to some of the most dominant players to ever play the game of basketball. I'm talking about guys like Shaquille O'Neal. I'm talking about guys that change the rules. But of course, Giannis to Shaq isn't a bare bones comparison. He's doing things differently and in a more modern way, and Shaq will tell you this himself. Last season, Shaq said Giannis was better than he was at 24. He said Giannis is able to showcase more, and Shaq said he'd even be willing to give up his Superman title for him. He works hard, he's a humble kid. He works hard, he just doesn't come and show up and say, oh hey, do I need to do this? I'm next. Nah, he actually works and he's earned it. He's earned my respect and he deserves it. I'm giving it to him. Shaq isn't the only old school player to notice Giannis's work ethic. Kevin Garnett said when you see him work out, he's a freak of nature. His first superpower is to make you quit. He wants to dominate you to the point where he wants to step on you. That's his mentality. That's an old school mentality. Kevin Garnett makes really good points. I honestly feel that Giannis's mentality is infectious. I think that he is the main reason that the Bucks are playing so good, but he isn't the sole reason. There's a team around him and the mentality in place that he spreads it throughout the team. You see, what Giannis did when he claimed the throne from LeBron James is something that you wouldn't see many NBA players do. I do think that's an old school mentality, and I think that's something that the NBA needs. It needs players like Giannis who leave their all on the floor every possession, every play. It needs players that have that fire and desire to be great. Not only great, but become the greatest players of all time. For everything that everybody doesn't like about Draymond, I also don't think Draymond is a perfect player, but you can't deny the intensity and the fire that Draymond played with and what he meant to those Warriors teams. Well, imagine that in an MVP type of player like Giannis. Think about what that does. Think about how that elevates and takes players around him to another level. When the Bucks lost Brogdon, who's having a fantastic year in Indiana, a lot of people thought the Bucks would take a step back, but a lot of people on the Bucks have been stepping up, and Giannis being one of those. He's having a year better than his MVP season. He's improved in many different ways. His game, elevating his team as a passer, is superb. Giannis is a very high-level passer and a very unselfish player. He's somebody that does what it takes to win. You see guys like Chris Middleton for the Milwaukee Bucks, who may not get all of the spotlight, but having a phenomenal season. Chris Middleton looks like a bona fide all-star yet again this season, while also being a high-level defender. He's been absolutely insane, to say the least. George Hill has been insanely efficient, sporting one of the best true shooting percentages in the entire NBA. Wesley Matthews and Eric Bledsoe have filled pivotal roles also. Despite playing phenomenal defense, Brook Lopez hasn't exactly been himself this season, but him and Robin Lopez are among the league leaders in paint defense inside of 6 feet. He's shooting the three-pointer at under 30% this season, but I'm sure he's going to bounce back. Giannis's ability to dominate any position 1 through 5 is something that is special, and I think that's going to go down in the NBA history books. His ability to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, but also be a dominating force on offense, isn't something that should be taken for granted. It's one thing to be able to play every position, but it's another to be able to excel at those on both sides of the basketball. In today's space and pace NBA, Giannis is the perfect kryptonite. You have this big man that can truly switch anything, but also pose a threat on the interior. If you sub somebody in to stop Giannis, you're probably sacrificing offense, and this is probably going to be one less player that he has to account for on the defensive side of the basketball. You're looking at a big that can play like the ultimate free safety. You're looking at a big that loves pace, that loves easy transition baskets, but at the same time can go get their own shot whenever they want and have the entire defense collapse on them at the blink of an eye. The Bucks lead the league in wide open three-point frequency. Let's just call that the Giannis effect. In a league full of shooters, Giannis's brand of basketball has become absurdly refreshing, and the fact that he's adding a jump shot to it is ridiculous. With Giannis looking like the face of the league for the next decade, I think it's safe to say that the NBA is in good hands. Random question, but despite the request by the 76ers coach, why won't Ben Simmons shoot threes? That might be my next video. Be sure to click the video on the screen right now though, guys. It's me giving you guys major Zion Williamson news. Be sure to subscribe. I'm GETLIKECOOP and I'm out.